Hello, grade 8s. For your final integrated arts assignment, Mr. Hunsberger and I thought long and hard over what your assignment should be. Where would you draw your inspiration? How could you combine your acquired knowledge and skills, your willingness to express yourself creatively, and all within a limited amount of time? Then we recalled your work with famous Toronto architectural landmarks. Since you've already researched these structures, we believed you could apply that prior knowledge to complete a final integrated arts project. So, simply put, for your music component of the assignment, you are to compose an original piece of music which draws inspiration from the historical and visual elements of your research building. And for visual art, you are to create a proposal for an abstract acrylic painting which will visually be a repackaging of your building. So, what are the assignment requirements? Well, in visual art, you must create a proposal for a unique abstract painting. The design must reflect the historical and visual components of your chosen structure. Proposal must include tools and materials, a rough sketch in color, the title of your work, which can also be the same as your music, limited color palette, timeline based on 4 classes, 3 elements of design, which are the intended focus of your painting. Now, the elements of design, remember, are line, space, shape, form, color, value, and texture. You'll also need to include all your research images and text. They need to be stapled to the back of the proposal. Now, due to time constraints, the actual physical painting doesn't have to be created. However, if a student wishes to complete the actual painting, all the materials will be made available from the prep art supplies. Now, in regards to your music, Mr. Hunsberger will lay out all the assignment requirements for music in his video and handout. Needless to say, you will be writing and performing an original composition which will correspond to your painting, so it will also be inspired by the structure that you're basing it all on. You're expected to view all video descriptions and demonstrations for both the music and the visual art components, and they'll be posted and a link will be made on the course sites in regards to both your music and your visual art on Blackboard. Now, the due date for both components will be during the week of May 20th through the 24th. Now, you have until the 24th, but we highly recommend the earlier that you hand it in, the better it will be for you. It will help you in regards to balancing all of your other assignments that will be due coming at the end of the school year. We don't want you to feel the crunch. Now, my criteria for the visual art will be for knowledge, depth and thoroughness of research and how it is reflected in your work, and your ability to follow correct proposal format. For inquiry, creativity in selection and use of your visual elements. For communication, the arrangement and expressiveness and clarity of visual and written elements. And for application creation, skillful use of chosen media. Now let's take a closer look at the proposal format. The proposal format looks very similar to what you've done in the past. You'll need to have your title at the top that will be corresponding to your artwork. It may be the same title that you use for your music composition. You need to identify the landmark's name and the date of its construction, your name and class, full name and class, of course, the tools and materials, please be specific, the color draft drawing in box that corresponds to the size of your panel. You'll be allotted a 9 by 12 inch panel. So it doesn't have to be 9 by 12, obviously, but it does need to be rectangular in nature. You may use the format of landscape or portraiture, whichever you feel is more appropriate to your piece. Now, timeline, I want you to base it on 4 classes. The first one would be for your proposal, and the last one would be for your class. Now, this is if you had 4 studio classes in order to complete your assignment. What do you wish to accomplish on those 4 classes? Your visual elements are your 3 elements. And for your color scheme, if you draw a bar graph on the bottom or a graph that has the corresponding number of colors you want to focus on, that will be down in the bottom corner. Now, I'm going to show you my exemplar of what it could look like. I based mine on the Chrysler Building in New York City, just like Mr. Hunsberger based his music composition. So you can see that I named it the Chrysler Deco, which is based on or reflected on the Art Deco style. There's my name, the class code, which I just put as the course code, ALC1O. I have the Chrysler Building written down of New York City. 1920 to 1929 was during the time of construction. Listing of tools and materials, canvas panel, acrylic paint, acrylic brushes round and flat, gel medium, palette knives, Sharpie markers, paper towel, spray bottle with water, J-cloth, matte medium, mixing palette, rulers, scissors, photocopied images, pencil. Timeline. So for the 4 classes, I'm going to first print the research images and complete my proposal. Number 2, Paint the background. Once dry, apply gel medium to begin the transfer process. Class 3, remove the paper from the photocopies. Class 4, handwrite text with Sharpie, complete necessary details. My visual elements that I focused on are color, shape, and line. For color selection is based on historical palettes of Art Deco structures. Further inspiration drawn from stainless steel, which is the material used in the building's construction. Shapes of triangles and rectangles repeat extensively throughout the facade of the building, especially closer to the top. And line. The main focus of this composition is the line drawing of the Chrysler Building spire, which I'm going to use in the transfer method. My color scheme contains 5 colors, and I've arranged them from light to dark. My drawing itself is also labeled. You'll notice I did it in pencil crayon just to try and correspond with the colors I intended to use in the background. I've also highlighted where images are going to be transferred, so I've got the main body of the Chrysler Building. I have intending to use 2 recreations of stamps in the upper left-hand corner. I have Chrysler car of the 1920s that will be somewhere below the center point. And then there's an area for text and for details in the background. And then I would also include with this, stapled onto the back, my research images. The only thing I'm missing is my written text. Now that you've viewed this video, you're ready to move on to the next video, which documents the process I went through to create my acrylic painting exemplar. Good luck.